Hi everyone, Dan Scott back again with another video where here I want to touch on things which are ulterior from others in relationship to the word comrade, mistranslated friend in the King James Version, where here we'll look at the word family concerning friends. So these words on this chart are very important for us to make distinctions between that we may perceive some very important and profound concepts concerning things that differ. And these things are not made obvious unless we have a pattern of words being healthy. So on the left here is how the King James translation has chosen to translate these words in various manners, where on the right we find the consistent pattern of words being healthy found in the DLT, the DABHAR literal translation. And as we'll see, the word comrade connects dots to what I talked about in my last video, early meal and supper. So first of all, we see here that the noun philos defines a friend or friends. And this is always in the context of those who are doing what the Lord gives as aim, as I talk about in my video, My Friends. And as for that which we are given as aim, well, if you've watched my video, The Great Mystery, you can answer this question also. Now, phileo here is a verb, so it's the act of being a friend, hence befriend. However, in this context, one can act as a true friend, but also as a hypocritical friend, where the literal definition of the biblical word hypocrite means to be a play actor, a stage performer. So here, according to the verb, there's two sides of the coin. Unlike the word friend or friends, which is very clearly defined as a true friend. Now, in my last video, Early Meal and Supper, we talked about this questioning of Peter thrice. So here, after the resurrection of Jesus, he approaches the men and he invites them to have early meal, where then Jesus proceeds to question Peter 3 times. Peter, do you love me? And Peter doesn't reply, yes, Lord, you perceive that I love you. No, he said, you perceive that I befriend you, where, again, the word befriend, the verb, the act of becoming a friend, can either be that of genuine true friendship or that which is hypocritical. And then the second time, Jesus asked Peter, do you love me? Peter answers, Lord, you perceive that I befriend you, where again, the third questioning, Peter is asked, do you befriend me? Jesus didn't ask, do you love me? But do you befriend me? Where Peter replies, I befriend you. So in relationship to the thrice denial of Peter, we know that the word befriend in the first 2 instances is according to hypocritical friendship. However, this is not so according to the third occurrence of befriend, where we'll soon see that if Peter's befriending the Lord was hypocritical on the third time, he would be deemed as comrade. So the thrice denial of Peter, according to the sign of the cock's voice, is that on this rock I will dwell, build my outcalled, and the gates of Hades will not all regardingly strengthen concerning her, the outcalled. However, this will not be the case for those comrades into the curse. This is because the befriending remains hypocritical, which brings us to another word in the word family of friend and befriending, which is philema. The noun philema, which we also find kata philema, which is a verb, kissed, also has 2 sides of the coin, where on the one side it can represent a holy kiss, but on the other side, the kiss of betrayal. Here we see Judas straightway having come to Jesus. He said, be joyful, Rabbi, and bowing down, he kissed him. Where in Luke chapter 7, verse 38, the woman falling down rained tears on his feet, and she kissed his feet by bowing down. So here's a genuine holy kiss, where the kiss of Judas was that which was according to hypocrisy. And after Judas bowed down to kiss the feet of Jesus, what do we read? What did Jesus say to him? But he said to him, Comrade, for what are you present here? Matthew 26:50. So Jesus didn't call Judas friend here, which would have been from the noun philos. Now, over here to the left, we see how the King James Version has accurately translated all the occurrences of philos as friend. However, we see how they translate heteros, comrade, also as friend. And to add to more confusion, the word love, as Jesus asked Peter, do you love me, is not from the word phileo, which we also see the King James Version translate love. And although I haven't placed it on the screen, the word love is from the Greek noun agape, where there's also the verb agapao. So to translate the words that define friends or the verb of befriending someone as love is absolutely absurd. Which now brings us to these next two words, allos and heteros. These are adjectives which are very closely related. However, the adjective allos defines things that are another or others of the same kind, or in relationship to those things that are the same. However, the adjective heteros defines things that differ, which is more appropriately translated as ulterior. For example, in the Epistle of Jude, verses 6 and 7, we see that these specific class of angels have ulterior flesh from human flesh, where another example is seen in those of Matthew 10 termed sheep, where those of Luke chapter 10 are ulterior fatted lambs. So the 70 were ulterior of a different kind from the 12. See my video, Lambs and Sheep. So here again, making these distinctions between these adjectives is extremely relevant and important. Where we see the King James makes no distinctions whatsoever. Where the same mixing and mincing of words occurs thousands of times, where I've pointed out many of these in many of my videos. And these are just more examples. And as a matter of fact, where you see the translation of the two-time occurring next day, well, this is from heteros, properly translated ulterior day, not the next day, but a day of a different kind. So, comrade defines a friend who is an impostor, according to that which is ulterior. This is why God has made distinctions for us to recognize that which is a true friend and that which is an impostor. In the same relationship to the verb to befriend, which can also be seen according to a true friend or a play actor, as well as philema and the kiss. And here we see that heteros, translated comrade, is in the same word family as heteros, ulterior. And in the Greek, there are only 4 total occurrences of the word heteros, where 3 of them the DLT translates comrade, because they're all found in the singular, where in Matthew 11:16 it's in the plural, translated ulterior ones. Jesus asked the question, but to whom shall I liken this generation? It is like the playing ones, those having seat in the marketplaces, who are lifting up the voices to the ulterior one. So here the playing ones are lifting up their voices to the ulterior ones. And when we come into the understanding of the context of the playing ones, as I talk about in my video, Into Your Hands, we can correctly cut these distinctions, which timeline carries from the finish of third watch time into the fourth. And of course, not all that is ulterior from other things is according to the curse. This is clearly seen between the 12 dispatched as sheep and the 70 dispatched as fatted lambs. However, many of the some odd 100 occurrences of ulterior, heteros, have their relationship to the curse of the fourth watch time, where, note, the wedding is filled with those lying up to supper, where Peter would be a type of one according to the same, according to the third time, true befriending the Lord. So where Peter was bare and jumped into the sea, well, we know Peter becomes girded with the slippable in raiment of wedding. However, in the parable of the wedding feast, Comrade has not the slippable raiment of wedding. So what exactly is the slippable in raiment of wedding? Well, simply stated, this is the dress code required for all according to the blissful expectation who will allot the regency and enter into the wedding feasts, whether those according to eventide, first watch time, those according to the middle of the night, but also those according to the finishing of cock's voice into the completion, who are partaking of the supper. So the slippable in raiment of wedding is something that we slip into as a process, which word is also found according to verb and noun. So in my next video, it's my intention to maybe talk and touch more on what is the process here of slipping into the wedding clothes that we may be prepared to enter.